Hello, welcome, konnichiwa. I never know how to start this, but in today's vlog I'm going to be taking a look at my favorite photo spots around Tokyo Tower. This is probably the second most famous landmark in Japan after Fuji. Let me take this off. And yeah, it is a very often photographed landmark, and as such I wanted to share kind of my favorite photo spots. Some of them are more unknown, some of them are more known, and also kind of just walk around the Tokyo Tower area for the next couple of hours until the sun sets and it gets dark, and kind of explore maybe a few new spots that I haven't found yet and just share them with you. And yeah, the first spot is already behind me, down here. This is a staircase of a parking spot, so you might be wondering why is this a photo spot, but this is actually, I would say, the most popular photo spot of Tokyo Tower, and I'm gonna show you why in a second. But basically what it is you have this, well, you have Tokyo Tower over there, and then you have the staircase, and the staircase forms a really beautiful kind of frame where you have Tokyo Tower framed perfectly to the walls of the parking spot. And yeah, right now it's, as you know, Corona situation, so it's not as many people as there are normally, because normally apparently what happens is, since this is a parking spot, it just spits out like a ton of tourists, especially like from mainland China, and it's basically just busloads of tourists all lining up here to take the spot. Sometimes the lines can reach all the way to Tokyo Tower, so hundreds of people lining up. Today there's not a lot of people. There were like there's two girls taking pictures downstairs. Now there is a sign that says authorized personnel only, but feel free to ignore that sign. It's a publicly available parking spot, so anybody can go there. However, there is a sign down there that says no tripods, and I would follow that advice, because you know, if you use a tripod, it's basically the exit of the parking garage. So if people get out and use a tripod there, it might be a little bit difficult. Okay, once I'm down there, I'm gonna give you some small tips on the best composition and how you can get the best picture of there. Now, so behind me what you can see is this is the parking garage, but yeah, this is the staircase leading up to Tokyo Tower. So what I would recommend is getting as wide as possible. If you're shooting with your smartphone, it should be able to get all of it if you stand far back. If you're shooting with like a normal camera, I would say maybe 28 to 35 millimeter is the lowest that you can get, or the widest, to get everything in there. Composition wise, I would make sure to just get kind of like a center shot. As you can see, like you kind of have the center line of the Tokyo Tower, and that works great. And then you have the walls kind of as leading lines, as kind of framing. One thing that I would make sure is that you are underexposing the picture by maybe like 2 or 3 stops even, because there's not a lot of interesting details on the wall. There's kind of this railing, but other than that there's nothing really interesting that you want to preserve in the walls. But it's much more important to preserve the details in Tokyo Tower. So to underexpose this, then the walls kind of turn black, and it kind of adds to the frame. If you're shooting here with a model, that's even better. So you can, I shot with my girlfriend Judy, so she was sitting down here. That was a cool picture I can show you. And also somebody standing, walking up the stairs. I even heard somebody was doing like the Joker, the scene from the Joker where he walks down the stairs over here. It's also a cool idea. So I just made it to my next attraction, which I don't know if you can see it behind me, but this is Zorgoji Temple, which is a probably Buddhist temple. I don't know, I always get those two mixed up. But it's either a Buddhist or a Shinto shrine. And what you can see behind this is Tokyo Tower. So this is another really famous photo spot here in Tokyo and here around Tokyo Tower, where you have kind of this juxtaposition of old and new, the old shrine and the new Tokyo Tower. Somewhat new, I think it's like 60 years old at this point, but it's relatively new compared to the shrine. And it's a very traditional photo spot where you have, well, just those two lined up. Unfortunately, right now it's kind of cloudy, which means that I can't really get any good pictures because it's very silhouetted, or I just blow out the complete picture. But what I'm hoping is that these clouds actually stick around until the night, because I think then I can get a really nice long exposure picture where you have like these kind of moving clouds. And when Tokyo Tower is lit up, this is also a really beautiful spot. I think the temple also has some lights. Never been here at night, but yeah, I'm hoping that's cool. So I'm just gonna shoot maybe a couple of pictures, and then I'm going to come back here at night and get some night shots. But yeah, composition-wise, you have basically the option of shooting from where I'm standing right now, which is kind of towards the left. That way you have Tokyo Tower and Zorgoji Shrine kind of lined up. You also have this kind of this tree next to the shrine, which you can use as kind of natural framing, which I'm going to try, which looks nice. You can also try shooting it straight down, like there's a path in the middle. But I have one more kind of extra tip for you. If you turn around the camera, then what you can see is this gate. I think it's called Diamond Gate. And it's also an interesting, again, juxtaposition, because you have this traditional wood gate in a Japanese style, and behind it, actually have another gate, but behind it you have kind of the streets of Tokyo, and you really get this cool juxtaposition of the gate framing kind of the modern Tokyo streets. So I'm also going to try get a shot here, because I think that's also a really cool spot. So when you're at Zorgoji Shrine, don't just shoot the obvious kind of shrine plus Tokyo Tower, but turn around and get another shot of this, because this is really beautiful and definitely recommend it. So yeah, let's get to shooting. So the next spot is what you can see behind me. I hope you can hear me because the traffic is very loud. But this is Akabakane, something like that. I'll put the name down below. Intersection. It's a very busy crossing. But what you have is you have Tokyo Tower right here. It's very open, so it's a very open area. And this spot is really cool. Well, during the day it's also cool because you have kind of open Tokyo Tower, but it's also really cool at night, where you can get some like cars passing through and you can get like a long exposure. I think it's going to be looking very cool, and it's also this is close to the closest station to Tokyo Tower, so you will most likely pass through here anyways. But yeah, I'm just going to shoot maybe a time lapse here, and then I'm going to return at night before I leave back home and get a few more exposure. The new spot that I haven't shot before is kind of this shrine. So I think it's a cool, another juxtaposition kind of shot. All the new. So unfortunately my microphone on the camera failed me, so I'm doing a voiceover now. After I got the shot with the shrine and Tokyo Tower, I continued onwards down the Sakura Dori, this very broad two-lane street. Now this street is also a very famous photo spot simply because at the very end of the street you have Tokyo Tower. What people often shoot is just the street straight down with Tokyo Tower in the background with all of the traffic. It's a really beautiful spot. My original idea was to shoot from the middle of one of the zebra crossings across the street, but then I realized that that's not really going to be possible because the crossings are very busy and a lot of people pass through them, so I wanted to set up my tripod and shoot from there. But yeah, again, not really possible with all of the people. Instead what I did was I continued onwards down the road all the way to the end, and that's where I found another cool photo spot. Another spot that I just found is over here. So if you continue all the way down from Sakura Dori, in the end you reach this bridge, and from this bridge you basically have a really nice view down on this road all the way to Tokyo Tower. It's not quite, you don't see all of it, but you can see a good portion of it. So I think this is a really cool photo spot as well. If you set up a tripod here, or you can even just put your camera down on this thing, and then you can shoot some long exposures at night. Also a really cool spot. Again, mic failed, so sorry about that. The last spot that I wanted to show you was here in Chiba Park, which is a really famous park right next to Tokyo Tower. Now in this park you have this really beautiful lane towards the end of it, and it's kind of a broad lane, and right in the middle of it you kind of have the view of Tokyo Tower. It looks like it's coming out of the trees from underneath it, and you also have kind of these street lamps that provide a really nice kind of additional depth. This is also a really popular photo spot, but I think it's really beautiful, especially if you shoot it towards blue hour, and once the light gets a little bit darker or towards sunset and Tokyo Tower lights up, you can get some really beautiful shots over there. So I'm still at the spot near Tokyo Tower in Chiba Park, but as you can see right now the Tokyo Tower is lit up beautifully, so this is a really good time to shoot kind of into blue hour, where you have kind of Tokyo Tower lit up, then you have also these kind of lamps, and then I'm gonna continue on to the other spots that I was before, especially around Tokyo Tower, to get some more like night pictures. But yeah, it's really nice. Really nice. So already at the last stop, back to Akabanebashi crossing. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for today. I'm just gonna take one more shot or something, and yeah, I'm gonna leave you with that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this small vlog. As I said, all of the picture spots are in the Google Maps down below. If you want to see an explanation on how to use the Google Maps, there's a link up here. But yeah, everything is down below, so you can check out the spots for yourself, and also the pictures are all gonna be posted on Instagram, so follow me on Instagram if you haven't yet. As always, if you liked the video, please like it, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!